everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Jackie and I create mosaics using sea glass. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite designs that I use. It's called flowing lines. So when I started creating sea glass mosaics, I was looking at all my sea glass and some of my special pieces and trying to figure out what would be a good way to put them together in a design. And I was really drawn to the idea of doing flowing lines of bunches of sea glass because the colors really lend itself well to that. Because you have mostly blue, not very much blue, but mostly green and brown and white. So with these three main colors of sea glass, it made sense to me to create flowing line designs. And the very first mosaic I made was a flowing line design, and it's still one of my favorites. I don't have that one to show you today because I don't have it with me, but this is an example of a flowing line design. So you'll see this in quite a few of my pieces. So I'll have a focal point, then I'll have flowing lines of white and green and brown, and then I usually like to have one line of blue going through the design. And it's a design that really appeals to me, so I've used it quite often in my sea glass mosaics. So this is a fairly small flowing line design. It measures 12.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and it features a sand dollar that was found on a beach in California. So I cut a piece of paper the size of the frame, and I drew a circle for the sand dollar in the center and some lines going out from that, and dashed a line through the design to show where I wanted to put some blue pieces. So I put the sand dollar in the center, filled in the other areas, put the blue sea glass through it, and a little inukshuk down by the right hand corner. So I call this one Creating Waves in PEI, and it measures 10.5 by 12.5 inches. And I created a very simple line drawing and just wrote what color I wanted each section to be. And the flowing lines are coming from a beautiful rock I found in PEI. And I used some really pretty pieces of blue and pottery to build the inukshuk. And for the blue line in this one, I used small pieces of mussel shells that have been softened by the waves, and I think it works really well. I call this one Creating Waves in France, and it measures 15.5 by 12.5 inches. And the pattern for this one's a bit more complicated because you have to add a line for the outside frame and more details on the colors that you want to use in each section. And the focal point is this beautiful seashell I found on a beach in France. And the line is a combination of pieces of blue and mussel shells. And the inukshuk in this one's really tiny, so you have to look fairly closely to see it. And overall in this piece, I think it's the framer on the outside that really sets it off and makes it look a little different from some of my other flowing line pieces. So here's another example of flowing lines within a frame, and this one measures 19 inches by 16 inches. And I really like on the outer frame how you can see the colors flowing. You see the white flowing into the brown here, and then the brown flowing into the green, and then you see the green flowing into the white. And a few other details, if you look close, you'll see little shell that I put in and some blue pieces. And you'll see here you can put a little heart piece on top of the other pieces. There's a couple of times when I've done that in this piece, just to add a few interesting little details. Another little shell there. And overall, I really like the effect that this has, and it's one of my favorite flowing line pieces. So thanks very much for joining me today and hearing about my obsession with flowing lines, because I do think it's a bit of an obsession. And I hope that it gives you some ideas about some designs you might like to try in your own sea glass art. And if you have any questions or comments about that, I would be happy to share any of my experiences with you. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found all the information very helpful, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them. Until next time, this is Jackie with Sea Glass Mosaics.